Hello student, I am Sangeeta Mansukhani and this is the video number 113, and in this video I will be explain NCERT textual questions with answers of the chapter number 15th polymers. So let us start. Question number first, explain the terms polymer and monomers. So I already explained in my last videos what is the difference between polymer and monomer. So polymer is a very big molecule and which is made up of large number of smaller molecules. Like such some smaller molecules we have to say monomer unit. Okay, and these monomer units join together and to form a polymer. So they are known as monomers and then polymer form. So this process is known as polymerization. Okay, so polymer is a very big molecule. It is made up of large number of smaller molecules. So such smaller molecules known as monomer unit. Then question number second, what are natural and synthetic polymers? And give two examples of each type. So what is the difference between natural and synthetic polymers? So first I have to say polymers, there are divided into two categories, natural and synthetic, which are obtained from natural sources like animals and plants, so are classified as in natural polymers. Okay, example like starch, cellulose, proteins and nucleic acids. Then polymers which are synthesized from monomers in the laboratory or industries, so they are called synthetic. And also we have to say man-made polymers, example like polythene, and we have to already say polyethylene, nylon, Teflon, etc. Okay, so these are difference between natural and synthetic polymers. Then question number third, distinguish between the terms homopolymer and copolymer. Okay, so simple, the difference between homopolymer and copolymer when same units of monomers. Okay, same unit, otherwise you have to say when there is only one monomer units which repeats itself in the polymer, so such polymer we have to say homopolymer. Okay, those polymers are called copolymer, which are formed by the combination of two or more types of monomers. Okay, so these are main difference. Example of homopolymers, PVC, that is means polyvinylene chloride. So same unit of vinyl chloride combined together and then repeats itself. So formation of the PVC, polyvinyl chloride. Okay, second example of the Teflon, and also we have to say Dacron. Then copolymer example is bakelite. Okay, then second one nylon 66. I already explained. Nylon 66 monomer unit is hexamethylene diamine and then second unit is adipic acid. Okay, but both have 6 carbon and whenever combined together, so formation of the nylon 66. Then question number 4, how do you explain the functionality of a monomer? Again I say, how do you explain the functionality of a monomer? So functionality of a monomer, that is means what is the function of the monomer. Okay, so the number of the binding site available in a monomer. Okay, the number of the binding site available in a monomer, so it is called its functional unit. Okay, and this process is known as functionality of a monomer. For example, functionality of a ethene is 1 and that of adipic acid is 2. Because ethene 2 carbon and have 1 double bond. Okay, but adipic acid more than 1 carbon, more than 2 carbon. Okay, so that is means according to the double bond way we have to say functionality. Clear? The number of binding site available in monomer, it is called its functionality. Then question number 5, define the term polymerization. Okay, so polymerization is defined as the process in which a large number of monomers combine to form a molecule of very high molecular mass called a polymer. Again, in the other way, I have to say whenever monomer units combine each together, then formation of the polymer, and polymer is a very high molecular mass unit. So example is like ethene convert into the polythene. Question number 6 is NHCHRCO whole N a homopolymer or copolymer? So first you identify. Okay, but before the identify, you know about what is the difference between homopolymer and copolymer. So again I say homopolymer made by same units of monomer unit, and copolymer different monomer units combined together, then formation of copolymer. Okay, an example also given in your textbook. Here you identify polymer given NHCHRCO whole N. So here you see one side given NH, that is means amine group, or second side CO, that is means carboxylic group. This group comes from carboxylic. So this polymer, so same unit. Okay, NHCHRCO. This is the adipic acid unit. Okay, so this polymer is a homopolymer because the repeating structural unit is the same, and here R is the same alkyl group, otherwise aryl group in all monomer units. Okay, so this polymer is a homopolymer. Then question number 7. In which classes the polymers are classified on the basis of molecular forces? Which class the polymers are classified on the basis of the molecular forces? So elastomers, okay, on the basis of the molecular forces, polymers are classified as elastomers, fibers and plastics. Okay, so on the basis of the molecular forces, the polymers are classified as elastomers, fibers and plastics. Then question number 8. How can you differentiate between addition and condensation polymerization? Okay, how can you differentiate between addition and condensation polymerization? So simple concept between addition and condensation. Addition polymerization, monomers add to one another in such a way that the polymers contains all the atoms of the starting monomers, and in which simple way addition polymerization generally occurs among molecules containing double bond or triple bond, and in which no any molecules remove. Okay, but in condensation polymerization, the monomer units combine with elimination of like simple molecules like water, methanol, ammonia, etc. Okay, so that is means this is the main difference between addition and condensation. Okay, so example of the addition like polymerization of ethylene to polyethylene, and then condensation polymerization example is nylon 66. Then question number 9. Explain the term copolymerization and give 2 example. Again same question repeat, copolymer, and then whenever process we have to consider, so this process is known as copolymerization. But again I say copolymerization is a process which involves the combination of 2 or more types of monomers, then the polymer so formed is known as copolymer, and this process known as copolymerization. Example, Buna copolymer of 1,3-butadiene and styrene. Okay, so 1,3-butadiene and styrene both are monomer units, and whenever both are combined, so formation Buna-S. Here name given Buna related of the 1,3-butadiene, and then S related styrene. So product name, polymer name is Buna-S. Okay, so Buna-S is a copolymer of 1,3-butadiene and styrene. Then question number 10. Write the free radical mechanism for the polymerization of ethene. Again I say, write the free radical mechanism for the polymerization of the ethene. Okay, so here we have to discuss about free radical mechanism. So free radical polymerization of ethene is initiated by initiator. Okay, and initiators are molecules which decompose to provide radicals. Radical, that means one free electron, okay, on the atom. So these radicals add to a monomer molecules then to form a free radical of larger size. So this constitutes the chain in three steps: initiating, propagating, and then terminating. Okay. So initiator whenever we have to use. So radical form, here you see, and radicals so formed and combined with another molecule of ethene like CH2 double bond CH2. So to form still bigger radical. See, radical attached with double bond ethene. This double bond is break, and then free radical transfer 8 carbon. Okay, and double bond electron going to the left hand side. Okay, so radical attached with CH2 single bond CH2 free radical. So the radicals so formed combined with another molecule of ethene to form still bigger radical, and chain continues. Okay, so these steps constitutes the chain propagating steps. First initiate, so initiator. Okay, so initial step. Second one, whenever chain is continuous, so these steps constitute the chain propagating step. So again this radical product way molecule combined with another molecule of the ethene, so again chain system form. Okay, these chain terminate ultimately by the combination, otherwise disproportion of two such larger radicals. Okay, so other molecule radicals we have to attach. So two radicals CH2 whole and CH2 free radical. So this way whole M forms. Okay, so radical CH2 whole M, that is with both unit combined, so consider as a small m. Single polymer unit we have to indicate small n, but again another molecule attached, so we have to indicate small m. Then after disproportionation reaction same, but in product way two types of product are formed but different oxidation state. So free radical mechanism complete in 3 steps: initiating, propagating, and then terminating. Then question number 11, define thermoplastic and thermosetting polymers with 2 examples of each. Thermoplastic and thermosetting polymers. I already explained in my last video. Again here I explain thermoplastics are normally linear polymers. Okay, thermoplastic are normally linear polymers, and in which the force of attraction between the polymers chains are in between those of the elastomers and the fibers. So they soften on heating and become fluid, and on cooling they become hard. So they can be easily molded into the desired shapes. So common examples are polythene, polypropylene and PVC. Again I say thermoplastic are normally linear polymers, and in which the force of attraction between the polymer chains are in between those of the elastomers and fibers. And whenever we have to heating, so they are softened and becomes fluid, and on cooling they become hard. So they can easily mold it into the desired shape. Okay, so examples are polythene and polypropylene and PVC. Then second one is thermosetting polymers. Thermosetting polymers are space network polymers. Okay, and these are highly cross-linked. These are highly cross-linked to form a rigid but irregular 3D structure, 3-dimensional structure. Okay, and these cannot be reused or reshaped because they do not soften on heating. Okay, thermosetting polymers are space network polymers, and these are highly cross-linked to form a rigid but irregular 3D structure, and these cannot be reused and reshaped because they do not soften on heating. Examples are like bakelite and urea formaldehyde resin. Bakelite, and second one is urea formaldehyde resins. Then question number 12, write the monomers used for getting the following polymers. Write the monomers used for the getting the following polymers. First one, polyvinyl chloride. Okay, so you know about polyvinyl, poly remove, so that is means only for unit is vinyl chloride. And what is a vinyl chloride? Whenever ethene attach with Cl, CH2 double bond CH attach with Cl, okay, it is a vinyl chloride. And when vinyl chloride combined and units of the vinyl chloride combined together, so polymer are formed. So polymer name is polyvinyl chloride. Second one, Teflon. So Teflon, it is a tetrafluoroethene. Okay, polytetrafluoroethene. So that is means poly remove. So that is means tetrafluoroethene. It is a monomer unit of Teflon. Okay, tetrafluoroethene, that is means one side 2 fluorine attached with one carbon and second side also 2 fluorine attached with carbon and both carbon attached with double bond. Okay, so CF2 double bond CF2, it is a tetrafluoroethene. It is a monomer unit of Teflon. Then third one is bakelite. You already known about bakelite because bakelite in monomer unit phenol and formaldehyde. Phenol, it is a OH attached with benzene ring. It is a phenol. And then formaldehyde, HCHO. It is a formaldehyde. So first phenol and formaldehyde combine and then first is formed novolac. And novolac again cross-linked each together, then bakelite are formed. Okay, so bakelite simple monomer unit is phenol and formaldehyde. Then again after phenol and formaldehyde combine and then novolac form and novolac is cross-linked, then formation bakelite. Then question number 13th. Write the name and structure of the one common initiator used in free radical addition polymerization. Write the name and structure of one of the common initiator used in free radical addition polymerization. So one of the commonly used initiator is benzoyl peroxide, which initiator use? Benzoyl peroxide. And what is the benzoyl peroxide structure you see? Benzoyl, that is means benzene ring attached with COOH. It is a benzoic acid and whenever hydrogen remove, okay, attach with other way, like here you see two combined benzoic unit, okay, attached together, so it is known as benzoyl. Okay, dibenzoyl. And in which you see whenever benzoyl form, so in between two oxygens, so this is way we have to say peroxide way, because like you see water H2O, okay, one oxygen add and then form H2O2, so we have to say hydrogen peroxide. So similar in benzoyl peroxide. Okay, clear? So benzene, COOO, benzene. Okay, so one of the commonly used initiator is benzoyl peroxide. It is a common initiator used in free radical addition polymerization. Then question number 14th. How does the presence of the double bonds in rubber molecules influence their structure and reactivity? How does the presence of the double bonds in a rubber molecules influence their structure and reactivity? So you know already about rubber molecules. In rubber molecules, all the double bond have which configuration? Cis configuration. Cis configuration, what is the meaning of the cis configuration? That is means CH2 unit attach one side. It is a cis way. Okay, so in rubber molecules, all the double bonds have cis configuration, so the chains are not able to come close enough for effective attraction. So due to the same reason, the rubber does not exist as a straight chain, but has a coiled structure, because one side, one number CH2 attached, then second other molecule attach fourth carbon. Okay, so that is mean it does not exist as a straight chain but has a coiled structure. So the rubber can be stretched like a spring, which makes it valuable for a varieties of uses. Okay. Then presence of the double bond also makes the rubber more reactive and it is attacked by the oxidizing agent and dissolved in polar solvent. It also has a large capacity to absorb water. So this reason these problems are overcome by the process of the vulcanization. Which process we have to use for overcome the problems? Vulcanization, and in which rubber is treated with sulfur. Okay. So whenever rubber treated with sulfur, so vulcanization rubber are formed, and this process known as vulcanization. Then question number 15, discuss the main purpose of the vulcanization of rubber. Main purpose of the vulcanization rubber. So natural rubber is very soft, but it becomes hard when heated with sulfur. So this process is known as vulcanization. So reason sulfur with rubber react causes cross-linking of polymer chains through the disulfide bonds. Which bond are formed between the sulfur and rubber? Disulfide bond. So the individual chains which are entangled together in the rubber now get together into a giant molecule, that is this big molecule. So cross-linking prevents the polymers from being torn when it is stressed. So the vulcanized rubber has excellent elasticity and then low water absorption tendency, so resistance to oxidation and then organic solvent. So this is the properties of the vulcanized rubber. Okay, so vulcanized rubber has excellent elasticity, low water absorption tendency and resistance to oxidation and organic solvent. Then question number 16. What are the monomeric repeating units of nylon 6 and nylon 66? So this is already explained, but again I say the monomer repeating unit of nylon 6. Here 6, that is means 6 carbon present in monomer units. So polymer here nylon 6. So 6 carbon present in monomer unit. So which use caprolactam, and caprolactam NaCH2 5COO. So NaCH2 5CO, so attach as a ring way, so caprolactam, and this monomer unit combine together, then nylon 6 form. Then nylon 66, I already said 6 that is means 2 reactant and both have 6 carbon. First have adipic acid NaCH2 6 NH, and second one is hexamethylene diamine. Okay, so adipic acid is CH2 4 combined both sides COOH, and then hexamethylene diamine is NH2CH2 6 NH2. Okay, so both are combined and then formation nylon 66. Then question number 17. Write the names and the structure of the monomers of the following polymers. So Buna S is 1,3-butadiene and then styrene, 1,3-butadiene 1,3, that is means after first and third number carbon double bond. Buta, that is means 4 carbon, 1, 2, 3, 4, and diene, that is means 2 double bond. Okay, so 1,3-butadiene. Then styrene. What is the styrene? When benzene ring attached with ethene. Okay, so benzene CH double bond CH2. So 1,3-butadiene react with styrene, then formation which polymer? Buna S. Buna name on the basis of the 1,3-butadiene and then capital S on the basis of the styrene. Okay, then second one is Buna N. So same Buna S, one monomer unit is 1,3-butadiene and then capital N, that is means acrylonitrile. Acrylonitrile, that is means cyanide group CN attached with ethene CH2 double bond CH CN. Okay, it is a acrylonitrile. So 2 monomer units combined, then formation Buna N. So Buna name on the basis of the 1,3-butadiene and capital N on the basis of the acrylonitrile. Then third one is dacron. Dacron, that is means ethane 1,2-diol. One monomer unit is ethane 1,2-diol. HOH CH2CH2OH, and then second monomer unit is terephthalic acid. Terephthalic acid, that is means benzene ring attached both of side carboxylic group. Okay, so COOH benzene attached with COOH, so both of side carboxylic acid group attached with benzene, so it is a terephthalic acid. So both monomer unit then combined and then formation dacron. Then fourth is neoprene. Neoprene monomer unit is 2-chloro-1,3-butadiene. Okay, it is also known as chloroprene. Okay, so whenever same monomer unit combined, so formation chloroprene, polychloroprene, and also we have to say neoprene. So monomer unit of neoprene 2-chloro-1,3-butadiene. It is also known as chloroprene. Then question number 18th, identify the monomer in the following polymeric structure. So here you see CO, that is means here present carboxylic group, then CH2OH and then CO. Here also carboxylic group. Okay, so this is the one monomer unit. Then here you see NH2, NH2 attached with CH2 6. So hexamethylene diamine, and this one decanoic acid, because total carbon 10, 1, 8, 9, and this one 10. So total 10 carbon. So it is a decanoic acid, and this one hexamethylene diamine, and both are combined together. So it is form polymer. This polymer. Okay, so two monomer unit, decanoic acid, and second one is hexamethylene diamine. Okay, then second one is this polymer given. So here you see N, and this side NH2, this side NH2, and this side NH2. Okay, so melamine. Okay, and here CH2 attached. So that is means formaldehyde. So two monomer units, melamine, this one, and then second one monomer unit, formaldehyde. Then question number 19, how is dacron obtained from ethylene glycol and terephthalic acid? So here you see dacron is polymer of the ethylene glycol. Here you see OH, CH2OH, it is a ethylene glycol, and second one terephthalic acid. Terephthalic acid, that is means carboxylic group both side attached with benzene. In the temperature given 420 to 460 Kelvin, so this unit is hydrogen, and then carboxylic group is OH. So water unit is removed, and then both unit is combined together, and front side and back side also same, forward and backwards both of side units is break. Okay, so bonding are formed. So dacron is a polymer of the ethylene glycol and terephthalic acid, and it is obtained by the condensation polymerization of these both of two polymers unit, because with loss of water. So it is known as condensation polymerization. Then question number 20, what is a biodegradable polymer, and give an example of the biodegradable aliphatic polymer. Okay, biodegradable, that is means polymers which degrade in the environment with time. Polymers which degrade in the environment with time are called biodegradable polymer. So one example of the biodegradable, PHB. Okay, PHB. P means poly, H means beta hydroxy, B means butyrate, co beta hydroxy valerate. Again I say, one example of a biodegradable aliphatic polyester is PHBV. P means poly, H means beta hydroxy, capital B butyrate, co beta hydroxy valerate. See, Polybeta hydroxybutyrate, polybeta hydroxybutyrate, co-beta hydroxyvalerate, polybeta hydroxybutyrate, co-beta hydroxyvalerate. Okay, so here you structure you see OCH CH3 CH2 C double bond O, OCH CH2 CH3 CH2 C double bond O whole N. Here you see this unit is common way. Okay, O, this one O, CH attached with CH3, here CH attached with CH2 CH3, right? Then CH2, then CH2, then C double bond O, then C double bond O. Okay, so both of unit you learned this way. So this is the polymer and its name is PHBV. Again I say, polymers which degrade in the environment with time are called biodegradable polymers. So one example of the biodegradable aliphatic polyester is polybeta hydroxybutyrate, co-beta hydroxyvalerate, PHBV. Okay, so this chapter is over. So according to me, this chapter is easy for you. Okay, and then no doubt in this chapter. Then next chapter I will be explaining in next video. Thank you so much.